Travis Wingoodsell. We have some signs in the heaven that appear to correspond with some expected results here on Earth. If you've been paying attention, you know that this is not astrology, as Brigham Young, we found out the other day, practiced. Called it being a revelator. And no, it's the science of astronomy. And so, as Jupiter and Saturn are getting closer and closer until the 21st, we have the moon in conjunction with them right now as they're setting here in Utah. The moon is 2.5 days old, and previously, as the moon gets to Saturn and Jupiter, there have been negative results in my lawsuit. But Jupiter and Saturn were separated those other times. I'm really hoping this time, I mean, this morning I exposed the church's coup, their latest coup. Not only have they been purposely trying to destroy America, as emails have now come out, that was the intention of the Trump administration, was to get us all infected and kill off the weak. Thus we know the church, by keeping the church open, is to infect as many Mormons as they can. He's not acting. Nelson is not acting in the office of Moses. Because Moses, during his virus, took care of everybody, keeping them home, keeping them safe, not being extorted to go to work, not purposely executing them to go to work, to go to school, to go shopping for basic necessities, not be extorted to go to church. Because now we know the emails have been released from the Trump administration that they purposely wanted to open business, send people back to church, send people to school, for the sole purpose of murder. So, that's your president. I got out when I found out the truth. So the question is, why aren't other Mormons finding out the truth so that they don't become the dumb ones? Because you are. If you remain with the church when they are purposely trying to murder you, that's dumb. So hopefully that's what's going to happen here. That the judge, having been informed of the Russian cyber attack, utilizing the church's invested company, Solar Winds, here in Salt Lake City, as a Mormon is the director of software programs. He's the one in charge of the program that got hacked. And I've been warning you guys ever since Nelson took over that the church is compromised to Russia. I've been doing several videos on it. One of such videos, YouTube banned. What do you gotta say now, YouTube? And so, yeah. The church is not only trying to murder us, they've also participated in the coup d'etat of America. The Book of Mormon warned us. This is what all my stuff is about, is using the Book of Mormon, using Joseph Smith's words, the Doctrine and Covenants, to demonstrate what he was trying to tell us, because it's all encoded. What also is going on right now, even though it's well into the western horizon now, is that Venus has finished her judgment. Libra is the scales of judgment, and when a planet is at the top, they are the judge. But then when they go to the scales in between, they're being judged. Venus is now finished. She's at the base. She's about to enter the star called Akrib. It's Arabic, but it symbolically represents the tree of knowledge of good and evil from the Bible Garden of Eden. And if you remember your story about the tree of knowledge of good and evil, it's where they fell. The rest of the world says Eve did it, caused the man to partake. The church is different. The Book of Mormon says it was Adam. The Doctrine and Covenants confirms that it was Adam. 29 verse 36 and 40. Nonetheless, that's the place that determines planets' judgment. Venus is referred to in Isaiah 14:12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? That is Venus, which in Latin is the word Lucifer. That's where we get the name of the devil, of Satan, as Lucifer, the light bearer. And as the light bearer, it is symbolized by turning the stars that are pentagrams that point up, they now point down, symbolizing falling. And thus the inverted pentagram represents falling stars of Lucifer. Thus Lucifer's doctrine, or as Mormons understand it, his plan of happiness that he presented in the Council of Heaven, and Heavenly Father said, no, go to your room, and Lucifer rebelled and left with the biker babe. Lilith is her name, actually, but I won't go into the full story here, as I've covered it before, but I may need to redo it at some time. Which religion is the great and abominable church whose founder is the devil? Thus the inverted pentagram is the sign of that church. So we can actually identify the great and abominable church as prophesied, as warned in the Book of Mormon, as the church that has the inverted pentagram. So Mormons, which church? Which church? Have you been to Temple Square lately? I know it's been closed, but you've at least driven up State Street, haven't you, and seen the Eagle Gate? Haven't you not gotten married at Temple Square, at the Salt Lake Temple? Had your pictures taken at the door of the temple? I did. I know all about it. Donna made sure to get the full door in the picture. And that's when I finally knew. And oh crap. My own wedding photos. So yes, Venus symbolizes the church, the Mormons specifically, rather than the church organization. It's the membership of the church. as the female representative rather than Lucifer representative. And so, yes, the woman is about to partake of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, as she is finished. It is this Friday, the 18th, when Mormons will fall. That is the last day of Hanukkah. At 6 p.m., it's over. So, as much as I hope for a win in the lawsuit, as I'm trying to warn about this attack that the church is involved with, but the news, as you can tell I'm listening to it right now, is completely clueless. Even the Senate and congressmen who were instructed by the intelligence committees, they're like, we don't know how this happened. I know. I reported it to Judge Campbell this morning. I know exactly what happened. And it's not just because I made the connection to the church tied to the company, but the Book of Mormon also told me. That's the code in the Book of Mormon. I mean, not specifically, it wasn't solar winds coded in the Book of Mormon, but the coup to overthrow America. This is why Captain Moroni is talked about with the title of liberty, to go after the kingmen who were trying to coup the Nephites while the Lamanites were attacking. So Russia is attacking, and there's a coup in Washington, D.C. And Joseph Smith said that the Constitution would be in jeopardy, and that it was necessary for an elders, depending on who says it, to save the Constitution. As Benson says, nope, Constitution will not be saved in Washington. And if you're unaware of the church and its connection to Russia, and a major city yet to be determined in Russia. Remember, we were supposed to have a temple in Russia. Whatever happened to that? Russia has no membership. And if you didn't know any better, you'd think, why are they getting a temple in Russia when they don't even have members? Yep, lots of secrets going on in the world and with the church. So there's the explanation of the signs for right now and to the 18th, so that you'll understand why I put them there.